So later you just change the... Oh yeah, white noise I forgot to connect. No sound, right? Now you can start talking.
Wait, how? Which do I switch to?
This is the custard scene.
This is not Hakim shit, right? No, it's Hakim's team shit.
Oh, this one.
Alright, so it's just me today. Welcome to the treasure hunt number 9. Escape.
Nice.
I am going to be taking you through the matches today. We're going to have 4 Swiss rounds.
There's still nothing here.
For 8 players today, we'll be cutting to 4 actually, since it's not very entertaining to only have a cut of 2 at the end. So we're going to have a cut to 4. So essentially, players today have 50% chance of making the top cut. So we'll see how things go. First up in round 1 of Swiss is going to be Martin Teo up against Ken. So we'll see how this match goes.
Yeah.
0-4.
Hold on.
Both players still connecting today. Rather
Okay.
small tournament today. I mean, not entirely unexpected. This format, this will essentially be the second last tournament in this format. We have a treasure hunt at the start of December.
4.
Yeah, so that will be the last of this regulation E. So this will be the second last tournament
DLC
here.
launches second week on the
Yeah,
probably
so
ends.
this will be the second last tournament regulation E before we get the next round of DLC, which will once again change the format. Though it could be said that regulation D didn't change that much. Version E didn't change that much from D, minus of course the Ogre and the Grassy Glide and Knockoff. That's about it really. Suddenly all the Roaring Moons just came back with a vengeance. Good timing I suppose, given that that monstrosity also launched in TCG last week. Right, so players are setting up now. We're going to be looking at Martin's side of the screen. He'll be up against Ken. Martin's team we see here is going to be the Arcanine, Grimmsnarl, Okidogi, Iron Bundle with the Golden Go and the Wellspring Ogre Pawn. Up against Ken, who's going to be running the team of Dragonite, Rillaboom, Dondozo, Fatamine, Heatran. Oh, Glimora, I did.
Later you just switch
Missed the
between.
Glimora there. Alright.
I go play already.
So, is there a trick room option for Martin? Doesn't appear to be, unless the Grimmsnarl is running a registry instead. Yeah, so it's going to be Grimmsnarl really being the main form of speed control for Martin. And Ken's team doesn't look like it needs speed control either, so it's just going to be the straight up support for Dondozo. What answers does Martin have to the Dondozo? I mean, Bundle is always strong against Dondozo, depending on what the Terra option is for Ken. Kind of forces the Dondozo to Terra, which he doesn't always want to do, depending on what's on the opposing side. And some setup options for Martin which wouldn't be that effective against the Dondozo if it sets up, since it is running the Oblivious ability. So players going into game 1, it will be best of 3, just to point out for today. It's going to be 4 rounds of best of 3. And both players going in with the, straight off the bat, Ken leading with the Dondozo and the Heatran. And Martin going with the Okidogi and the Grimmsnarl. So options to set up screens, which is always useful against Dondozo. Some disruption also available for Martin if he wants to. Thunder Wave on Dondozo could go a long way, especially if it is running the substitute. No, not actually. So yeah, Thunder Wave will stick and will hamper Dondozo for the rest of the game if Martin decides to go for it. Okidogi doesn't really want to waste time setting up in this situation. It wouldn't have any effect against the Oblivious Dondozo. So again, it really comes down to whether you want to throw a gunshot into that slot, because the risk is that you get a poison, and I think you prefer the paralysis on that slot. So Ken making the switch early. Is this going to be the Tatsugiri? No, it's going to be the Fluttermane. So Dondozo staying in. So you can see a yawn here. Right, there is no Tatsuki on this team, what am I saying? The light screen comes up, Okidogi going for the Drain Punch into what was the Heatran slot. As Yawn comes up for the Dondozo into the Okidogi. So Okidogi didn't go for the setup, so it doesn't lose anything if he switches out. And Grimmsnarl, having set up the screen, can go for another screen, go for Spirit Break, which could hamper the Flutter Mane if he lands it. And it's not particularly threatened by either things on this, either of Ken's Pokemon. So Okidogi switches out, having been yawned by the Dondozo. Golden Go coming out for Martin. Of course, Golden Go being immune to any yawn if he goes into that slot. Moonblast into the Grimmsnarl, even through the light screen. Super effective, does more than 50%. Spirit Break goes into the Flutter Mane. Do it knockout? No, not quite. Does get a special attack drop. Can he survive one more Moonblast after the drop? Here's Wave Crash from a Dondozo. About 50% since Grimmsnarl didn't set up the Reflect. Yes, we do see Dondozo's leftovers recovery. No yawn this turn, so I mean, it would have been failed if you went into Golden. I wonder. It might be I think he should be able to survive one Moonblast, but if Ken goes for the double up into the Grimmsnarl slot, probably goes down. Unless he sets a Reflect. Even then, it might be close. Wave Crash is a very strong base power move. So Flutter Mane switches out for Ken. Brings back the Heatran, I believe. Yes. Still hasn't no terror on either side. Reflect goes up for Martin's team. He is carrying the Light Clay, I believe. So the screens will stick around for quite a while. As the Nasty Block goes out for Golden Go. Heavy Slam into the Grimmsnarl, yeah, with the Reflect, not going to take the knockout. Though, you wonder whether Martin might have preferred the knockout there to give him a free switch. Since he does not run the parting shot on the Grimmsnarl to get the switch off his own. So he has to manually switch if he wants to get off the field. It's not particularly, I don't think you really want anyone else to take a hit or even a yawn on the switch in. Right, nobody wants to look at me. So, some options for Martin, with now that his Golden Go is boosted, though he might be forced to Terra against the potential heat wave coming out from Ken. Since Heatran is likely faster than Golden Go, though I suppose we'll see the interaction this turn. I don't think either will be switching out. So we do see the Terra come out. It is on Martin's side for the Golden Go. Do we see the Heatran match it? And which would also indicate the Heatran is slower. So Dragon Terra for Golden Go. Resist the fire coming out from the Heatran. Resist Wave Crash as well. Thunder Wave comes out. So no Terra on Ken's side. Thunder Wave into the Heatran. Going to make it the slowest thing on the field. Probably. And Golden Go likely to move next here. It's going to be a Shadow Ball into the Heatran. So double up from Martin into that slot. +2. Shadow Ball still not enough. Just going to be a 2-hit knockout as Heavy Slam does take out the Grimmsnarl. Essentially giving Martin the free switch. He's really done his job. He's gotten Paralysis off on one mon, set up both screens. And yeah, we will see full Paralysis come out for the Heatran. But if it was Heat Wave, likely not much damage into the Dragon type for Dango. So in this situation, Martin should be able to set up what's essentially a pin on the Heatran slot. Since it is the Assault Vest, so it's not able to protect. So it's forced to switch out if he wants to survive and if he wants to keep it around. So another Shadow Ball will take it out. And then at this point, I don't think you really want to wait. You really want to spend your Terra on your Heatran, given that it's already at half and it's paralyzed, so it's likely to go down to any further hit. Okidogi, of course, is doesn't have great ways to hit the Dondozo without setting up, and you can't set up in front. Setup won't have any impact on Dondozo because of the Oblivious ability. Golden Go though, in a pretty good position. Still not really, you don't really want to waste your special attack with the Make It Rain quite yet, because Heatran does 4 times resist and there's no reason for Ken to Terra at this turn. And of course Dondozo also resists Steel. So Shadow Ball comes out once again, it's going to pick off the Heatran. having already taken 60% from the previous shot. Oh my, that's a roll, I would suppose. As gunshot into the Dondozo, does it get the poison? Does not. Yawn into the Okidogi. Heatran does get a chance to fire off an attack. Actually, a flash cannon into the. Oh, it's gonna be the heat wave. Ooh, that's a miss on something. It's gonna be a miss on Okidogi, which would have been the one that would have taken neutral damage. Tough break for Ken as Godengo eats his citrus berry, brings it back up to 75%. That's a huge discrepancy on the Shadow Ball roll, I have to say. So Iron Bundle comes in. No, not in this situation.
Oh,
I suppose you still want to take out the Heatran no matter what, since it is paralyzed and Ken's not likely to waste any damage into that slot by forcing a switch. And at this point, literally anything will take it out. Barring, of course, a gunshot into the steel type. So Okidogi going to switch out for Martin. It's going to review his last Pokemon. It's going to be the Iron Bundle. Does it have the booster energy? Yes, it does. So we'll get the speed boost. In this situation, not very useful. Potentially might help if there's a champ out at the back for Ken. As Mickey Rain does come out. Well, it's the only spread attack Godengo has access to. Drops his special attack +1 now. Get some damage on Godengo, but Godengo free to fire off another Yawn, I think. Yep, so Yawn into what was the already Yawn Okidogi, ensuring that if it stayed in, it would sleep. And if it switched out, the Iron Bundle will get the Yawn effect as well. Dondozo probably able to take, now that the Godengo has dropped down to, has low special attack from the Make It Rain, Godengo likely able to take another Make It Rain. So Shadow Ball might be a bit difficult. Freeze Dry into the slot as well from the Iron Bundle should be able to take it out. So Ken, kind of on the back foot. Going to review one of his, yep, going to bring back the Flutter Mane. So likely slower than Iron Bundle now after the booster energy. Probably before as well. Iron Bundle of course having a higher base speed than Flutter Mane. But should be able to take one hit from the bundle, I would think. Still though, doesn't have the super effective Shadow Ball now that the Godengo has Terra into Dragon. So I might want to fire a Fairy attack into that slot. I'm not sure if Dazzling Beam would be enough. Godengo is weak now, so might be enough. And you do want to get some damage on the Iron Bundle along with the Godengo. So Iron Bundle will switch back out, not wanting to fall asleep at the end of the turn. But leaves this Godengo a bit vulnerable to the Flutter Mane. Okidogi comes back as Flutter Mane just going to go for Protect. Is it just going to see another Mickey Rain come out? Yes, it's just going to be a Mickey Rain. I don't think this will be enough for Godengo now after the leftovers and the special attack drop from the previous turn. Yep, Dondozo does survive. And free to fire off, well, I suppose if fire heavy slam into that slot, it's just going to be the Yawn. So Ken consistently keeping up the Yawn to ensure that that slot is either forced to sleep or forced to switch. Ensuring that he essentially forces a 1v1 with his partner against the Godengo if Martin chooses to keep the revolving door switches to prevent the Yawn from taking effect. And so far, so good I would say for Ken. Since Flutter Mane is in a decent position against the Dragon type Godengo. But I think Ken would have liked to see a Protect last turn so that he would have an easier prediction this turn. Because now he still does run the risk of the Godengo protecting and wasting the Flutter Mane attack. And now that Okidogi is on the field, Flutter Mane also vulnerable to the gunshot from Okidogi. So it might be worth taking the sleep if Martin can land that gunshot. So decisions for both players to make here. Dondozo, well, the longer it stays on the field, the more leftovers recovery he gets, which is kind of his role as a blocky water in this particular team archetype. So Iron Bundle switches out again, Martin not wanting the Yawn to take effect. Can take advantage of this turn, yes. Ken does go for the Moonblast into the, goes into the bundle slot. That's a special attack drop, pretty important, but Mickey Rain will knock out the Flutter Mane and Dondozo stays alive, barely. And Gotengo brings itself to neutral special attack now. But the Iron Bundle is at -1 from their Moonblast. And Heavy never. Oh, Heavy does not take out the Iron Bundle. Neutral, of course, into the water and ice type Iron Bundle. But I'm not sure what Ken has to try and close out this game. Power, I would think. Otherwise, or Dragonite maybe? No, it's just the Rillaboom. Okay. So Rillaboom only having single target attacks and not really having a good way to hit the Dragon type Gotengo, I believe. Yeah, in fact, based on the set that Ken is running, I don't think he has a way to take out the Gotengo now. Fluffy really was his last choice, his last chance, and I think last turn he was hoping for the Gotengo to protect from the Moonblast. But instead, Martin just goes for the attack and gets the KO. And I think this should seal up the game for Martin, with no real good options to stop the Gotengo. Could even go for Nanasi Block if he wants to. No, I suppose you run the risk. No, there is no earthquake on this Dondozo either. So actually it's pretty safe. Can't be yawn because of your good as gold. So we do see the Terra on the Rillaboom. Fire, maybe? No, just Terra Grass, yeah, to boost the power of it. I suppose at this point you need all the power you can get. The Wood Hammer is probably your best chance to take out Gotengo. With the Terra Grass, and Battle Protects, I think that's what would last. That's exactly what Ken needs. Shadow Ball into to finish off the Dondozo. No, I need to drop a special attack further. So does he go for the Wood Hammer? Yeah, he didn't go for Grassy Glide. So I do think Wood Hammer is coming out here into the Gotengo. With the Terra Grass, let's see a Miracle Seed. No, not enough. Yeah, it is the Metal Plate. But at this point, with the recoil, with Iron Bundle having a super effective Freeze Dry into that slot, even if you go for the Grassy Glide, I think Shadow Ball will eventually wear your Rillaboom down. And he has to go for the Grassy Glide this turn, or he just goes down to the Freeze Dry. Yep, so here's the Terra Grassy Glide. It's going to be easy knockout onto the Iron Bundle. But Iron Bundle isn't really the big problem. So I think now Gotengo is able to survive another Grassy Glide. Shadow Ball into the Rillaboom. How much damage does this do? Does not have Assault Vest. This is neutral attack. Ooh. Oh! There's a really big special defense drop onto the Rillaboom. Which, given that I think Gotengo is faster, I think that might be the game. Okidogi of course has super effective poison attacks and also resists the grass, so probably seal that regardless, since this Rillaboom is not running the high horsepower. So Shadow Ball into the Rillaboom now with -1 special defense. Should be a 2-8 knockout from here. Yep, definitely. Gets another special defense drop for good measure. Okidogi goes for the bulk up, showing that it is faster than Rillaboom as well. As Rillaboom goes for a last stage Wood Hammer. Ghost needs to knock out on Gotengo. Oh, just goes to Okidogi. That's not very effective. Not even a 2-8 knockout after the bulk up. And the recoil will take itself out. So Ken exiting on his own terms, but it's going to be game 1 for Martin. And I have to wonder whether the Dondozo really... You see the game plan there for Ken, which was to keep forcing a 1v1 with Dondozo constantly forcing switches on one of Martin's slots with the yawn. But he didn't really take advantage of it, or he couldn't really take advantage of it. Kitchen being paralyzed fairly early. And couldn't really land effective heat waves onto Martin's side of the field once the Gotengo Terra into the Dragon. And Fluttermane had one chance really to land that Moonblast into the Gotengo, which would have swung the game, I think, in Ken's favor. But I think calling the Protect went for the partner instead and was punished with the Make It Rain. And really, Martin was in a position to make fairly safe plays at that point in the game. Didn't really have to risk. Even if the Moon had gone to Gotengo, I do think that would have changed a lot. Because then it would have been Okidogi and the Iron Bundle up against the Fluttermane and Dondozo with Rillaboom at the back, and Rillaboom would have had a much easier time if Okidogi could be softened up before the end game. I wonder if now is the time to see Dragonite for Ken. Since it's good neutral damage into a lot of things, and by showing the Dragonite also, you kind of threaten any potential Gotengo Terra. So you really don't want to turn into a Dragon type and run into Outrage. Oh, is he running Outrage? Yes, he is. Yeah. Which would be an easy knockout if he Terras into Dragon. So game 2 here, Martin up 1-0. Ken needing to win this to stay alive. I wonder if we see the Dondozo lead again. No, it's going to be Dragonite and the Heatran leading into the Gotengo and the Grimmsnarl. Yeah, a much better position for Ken, since he forces either the Heat Wave, forces either the Gotengo to switch out or Terra. And if you Terra, you're leaving yourself open to any potential Dragonite. Though again, with the Grimmsnarl, you do mitigate that a bit, because by putting a Fairy on the field, you kind of discourage the Dragonite from locking itself into Outrage. So there's 50% chance of going into what would be an immune slot. At the same time though, I think Charge Band Extreme Speed might just do it knock out the Grimmsnarl, which means Grimmsnarl will only be able to get one screen up if he chooses to go for it. Unless of course he goes for the Terra. But putting a Terra into Grimmsnarl, a sport Pokemon, it's tough to make that call. But Dragonite does switch out. So just shows its face to makes Martin second guess future options, bring back the Dondozo, and we do see a Terra coming out from Martin's side. So it is the Ghost Grimmsnarl not wanting to leave it open to Extreme Speed. So just by showing up, Dragonite has forced the Terra on Martin's side. So now Martin knows now Ken knows for sure that Heat Waves will go into a super effective, or rather a weak to the Fire Gotengo. Gotengo goes for Nasty Plot. Puts down in a decent position, but the Heatran will just go for Heat Wave until it knocks out after the Light Screen. Yes, it is. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. With Citrus Berry, yeah, I still think it's going to be okay. It's going to be close. Might just hang on, and now the Heatran might have to deal with Thunder Wave from the Grimmsnarl. But Dondozo also very free to just Heavy Slam into the Grimmsnarl slot, which has not set up Reflect, or even Yawn to force the Revolving Door that we saw in Game 1. And if Heatran can attack through any potential paralysis and Heat Wave into Gotengo, suddenly the Gotengo would be just about hanging on, I think. And the Dondozo will just free to whatever it wants. Yawn, Heavy Slam. Gotengo will protect. So not wanting to risk taking the Heat Wave. As no Thunder Wave from the Grimmsnarl. Heat Wave just coming out into I think we're gonna need 3 more of that. Spirit Break into Heatran. So yeah, now Heat Wave will definitely not knock out the Gotengo after that special attack drop. But Dondozo free to land an attack into the Grimmsnarl. Ooh, went for Wave Crash, tried to double up. Yeah, to cover for any potential Thunder Wave and the Light Screen. And Martin does get away with this turn. And now he's free to Thunder Wave if he wants to. Or set a Reflect to stop, to lower the damage of the Wave Crash. And Heavy Slam. So now can one switch out the Heatran? Or is the Heat Wave still doing good damage to the Gotengo even through the special attack drop and the Light Screen? Since Heatran is the one thing on his field that takes the special attacks from Gotengo the best with the Assault Vest. And anything else that switches in will take a lot of damage from any potential Shadow Ball or Make It Rain. And I think two Heat Waves will still do the job at this point. So Reflect comes out for Grimmsnarl, as Shadow Ball from Gotengo into the Dondozo. Shouldn't knock out, I don't think, even after the Nasty Plot. Yep. Heat Wave does double connect. One more will do it from the Grimmsnarl. Wave Crash into the Gotengo through the Reflect is enough. So the one thing that carried Martin through last game, not gonna do it. Oh, I just realized the names are swapped. I apologize for that. It is Martin on this side of the field that we are watching from. So Martin does show that he switched things up with the Ogerpon over what was the Okidogi, which really didn't do anything for him last game. In this situation, he does threaten the Ivy Casual into the Heatran. So given that it's a Assault Vest Heatran and fairly bulky, I do expect the Heatran to survive. Especially since I do also suspect this Ogerpon is more defensively trained with the Follow Me and No Swords Dance. Still going to be a good chunk of damage, and there's not much Heatran can do in return. You know, Grimm's now slowly becoming a liability on Martin's side of the field. He spent his terror on it. He's not doing a lot of damage. I don't even think Spirit Break at this point would KO the Dondozo after the leftovers recovery. So Dragon Knight coming back in. Spirit Break into the slot pretty good. Thunder Wave into the slot also pretty good. Though now that he has been paralyzed, I think it's all the more likely that Ken will choose to lock himself into the extreme speed. So Ivy Cudgel into the Dragon Knight. Yeah, Dragon Knight will take that decently well, thanks to the resistance. Yon into the Ogre slot. So now, I suppose the risk for Ken is that he doesn't know what Martin's last slot is, and there is still a chance that it is the Farigiraf, which would block any extreme speed. He didn't show it last game, and he's really made a change from what he brought last game with the Ogre Pawn. So how likely is it that he would switch two members of a team that won? Is what Ken would have to consider. And that being said, even if he locks himself into extreme speed, there's still a chance he can't attack through paralysis. So Ogre Pawn going to switch out. Again, Martin showing that he does not want to fall asleep to the Yawn. He will review his last Pokemon, this the Iron Bundle, which I think will be to it knocked out from the extreme speed if Dragon Knight can attack through paralysis. So we do see the Boost Energy trigger for the Iron Bundle, really not going to matter. It is really the fastest thing on the field. Spirit Break into the Dragon Knight, super effective. Ooh, it's just a straight knockout with the crit. And again,
I don't think it matters.
and again, I mean, Ken could have just chosen to lock himself into extreme speed, so at least he would have gotten one attack off, assuming he went through paralysis. So we do see Yawn again, but without Dragon Knight, I begin to wonder where the offense from Ken's side is going to come from. Going to have one last Mon here. And it is the Heatran coming back. Okay, so no, still has one more at the back. But Heatran is threatened by the Hydro Pump, though he could Terra. He has not used his Terra yet. And now that Golden Go is gone, Heatran's typing isn't as important. Heatran's original typing isn't as important, since you don't need the steel resistance anymore. So it could be incentivized to go for the Terra. But again, Martin could just call it with the Freeze Dry. There's a big risk though to take. When he could just get an easy KO on the Dondozo with Freeze Dry there, since there's no way, I don't think, that Ken wants to Terra his Dondozo. But no Terra this turn. Iron Bundle. Okay, Grimm's now goes for the Thunder Wave into the Heatran slot. And Iron Bundle. Freeze Dry? Yeah, it's gonna be Freeze Dry. Okay, into the Dondozo Protect. Can Heatran attack through paralysis? It can, and does double connect. Heat Wave into the bundle. Still not enough to bring down the Grimm's not through the light screen, but gets the burn. Which means the next Heat Wave will knock out after this burn tick. Or the next burn tick for that matter.
Nice one! Nice burn!
But again, that also does mean that the burn will block the Yawn from taking effect.
It took me a while to realize what happened there.
So Martin finally deciding that he's willing to take the sleep this turn, but turns out he doesn't need to go to sleep after all with the burn kicking in instead. So Bundle free to act for what will probably be his last turn, since I think attacks from either of these two will knock it out after the burn. Freeze Dry into the Dondozo should pick it off. And it looks like it's going to be the Spirit Break into the Heatran to lower its special attack. Not going to do a lot of damage, it is very, very resisted. But the special attack drop will take effect, and paralysis doesn't kick in. Heat Wave, and Mano does survive and should survive even after the burn. Does at least finally bring down the Grimmsnarl, but I think Martin's pretty happy with that. Grimmsnarl was not doing much, if anything at all. As Bundle will survive one more turn. Two will be able to take one more burn in fact. So Ken will need to send an attack into that slot if he wants to bring down the Bundle. Pokeball comes back with access to the Follow Me to protect the Iron Bundle. For two more. Okay, he won't be able to protect it from the Dazzling Gleam. And I think at this point, okay, the Boost Energy for the Flutter Mane kicks in as well. It's also the speed. So Bundle, I think Bundle did not switch out since Martin did stay in finally, despite the Yawn. So Bundle is still faster than the Flutter Mane. But don't At this point, I think you have to call whether or not. Martin will have to predict whether or not the Heatran goes for Terra, since you have to decide whether to throw the Hydro Pump or the Freeze Dry into that slot. Oh well, never mind. He's not running the Hydro Pump. It is the Chilling Water, which will not bring down the Heatran even though it is super effective. And the attack drop doesn't do anything for the bundle against the Heatran. Okay, we do see the Terra come out. No, now that you think about it, given that it is the Chilling Water, I don't think Heatran really needs the Grass type, since it just makes you weaker to the Freeze Dry. But well, Ken has made that decision. I mean, he's probably figuring that the Iron Bundle is going to go down eventually to the burn anyway, and you are protected by the Assault Vest. So Moonblast into the Ogre a little bit of damage. Unleash into the Flutter Mane. It's going to be a 2-hit knockout and heal quite a bit for the Ogre. And I don't think he tries any option to take out the Ogre, even if he double targets. Oh, yeah, Terra Blast is neutral into the Grass Water Ogre, and that's very pitiful damage, honestly, after the previous Spirit Break from the Grimmsnarl. And now Martin can fairly safely throw the Freeze Dry into the Heatran, because he's now weak to the Freeze Dry. Though, the problem of course is that Fluttermane is the bigger threat, not because Heatran's at minus 1 special attack and really not doing anything to the Ogre. And you kind of want to force a 1v1 with Ogre and the Heatran. The Ogre easily wins that with the Ivy Cudgel. Oh, I'm good, not into the Grass Heatran, to be fair. Fluttermane will protect. A Spiky Shield from the Ogre. Well. And Freeze Dry, yes, into the Terra Heatran. Super effective, will be probably a 2-hit knockout. Terra Blast into the Protect though. And the bundle will go down to the burn. So while both of Ken's Pokemon aren't doing a lot of damage to the fairly bulky Ogre, it is a 2v1. And I think over time, especially with the chance of critical hits of course, and with Ogre having no real good option to take out the Heatran in one hit, so it probably goes to the, whoa, that's a big chunk. Now the light screen is gone, yeah. Unleash will take it out and get a bit of healing back. But I don't think he can stay in front of Heatran for long, since both his attacks are resisted by the Grass Heatran. And he does not have access to the Swords Dance. So Terra Blast into the Ogre, going to do a little bit of damage. Ooh, that's quite a bit actually through the light screen. Now the light screen is gone. Reflect wears off, not gonna matter.
Crit. Crit through it.
That's the answer.
I'm not even sure a crit would do it. Now that it's
Full
resisted.
para. Full para.
That's the crit actually, I believe. Yep.
Oh, you really crit through it.
He got the full parallel.
Okay.
Well, he essentially needed both there.
Okay.
And he got both. So Martin will take step 2 and
Oh,
all.
this team is good. If your opponent's using this, you must.
What thing?
This team is good. If your opponent is using it,
I see.
yeah, good can do it.
A bit unlucky, I lost.
Yeah, good. Yeah, open.
I really wonder what would happen if the Heatwave didn't burn. Since we saw how Martin just didn't want anything to go to sleep that turn. Then in the entire of game 1. So if he had gotten to sleep in game 2 onto the Iron Bundle,
It's 120.
give him a lot more free turns.
I think we're okay.
Game could have gone in Ken's favor.
Yeah.
But instead he got the burn. Bundle really stuck around for got
I
three
was
or
like,
four more
when
attacks
to
off
back
after
this
that
turn
turn,
also, when is he
instead of
going
going to
protect?
sleep.
So irritating.
Which one?
I was trying to figure out when is he going to not protect.
And all the damage from Martin's side really did
Oh,
make
yeah,
a
you're
difference.
very irritating.
But again, that last turn, he really needed both.
Trying to cycle. I know, I think I think also.
He needed the
Okay.
Ivy Cudgel to crit onto the not very effective Heatran, and he needed that full paralysis.
This is
But well played to Martin, who will start this tournament 1-0. And we will see what our players have in store first in round 2. So stay tuned.